Okay. Fujifilm is now making... Fujifilm makes plastic, crappy, disposable cameras. Now, I'm not ragging on Fujifilm. I was going to talk about a great irony, however. Fuji tweeted this out. And they put in, do you know Fujifilm invented the modern disposable camera back in 1986? And they still do make them today. However, most people in America do not use a disposable film camera for obvious reasons. Film's a pain in the butt, and the images are not too hot. But there it is. The great irony is that Fuji, the people 30 years ago who came out with the disposable camera, are now making the most non-disposable, most long-lived, best-made cameras currently. The toughest camera that exists is an Nikon D3. However, Nikon don't make cameras like that no more. They definitely don't make cameras like that anymore. Now, while it is true that none of us hammer nails with our cameras, the magnesium chassis, superior construction, superior Japanese-made quality of Fuji is unquestionably now #1. I don't care whether you like mirror. This has nothing to do with mirrorless. It has to do with the damn camera. The notion of mirrorless versus non-mirrorless, I've always said since day one, was a BS concept anyway. That little flappy mirror, and I mean, who gives a damn? What's the best damn camera? Mirrorless versus non-mirrorless. Obviously, it's great for focus peaking with manual focus lenses, but this whole mirrorless versus non-mirrorless debate, you know, I said from the beginning, is total BS. Huge lens is a huge lens. A huge speed light's a huge speed light. So there is no more mirrorless versus DSLR. Hopefully that crap is basically flushed down the toilet now. So the company that gave us 30 years ago the disposable plastic crappy camera, they're all, even the Fuji ones, you know, they're all pretty crappy. I mean, they are disposable by their very nature. Good enough for taking snapshots, right? Now, in great irony, Fuji has bested Nikon and Canon, and it was really easy to do that with Sony, but Sony's not a camera company, they're a consumer electronics company. Fuji is now making the most non-disposable camera, the most long-lived, the best-made camera. Oh, the irony. Oh my God. Every time I see these, I have nightmares. I have serious nightmares when I look at these, and the reason being is I worked in a couple of photo places where I actually developed film. I only sold cameras, but I also would process film. And cracking open these suckers was a pain in the crotch, and oftentimes you'd cut your hand. Because you crack open a lot of them. There's professional people that crack open oysters to get the oyster out, and sometimes they cut their hand. They wear gloves, actually, to not cut their hands, because they use knives. But we didn't wear gloves. We'd crack them open, we'd cut our hands. We'd always save the batteries because the flash versions, the battery was always really good. So we'd save the battery and throw the camera away. But we'd have to crack open these damn cameras, and there's all the little parts and spring go doink, doink. So I've got nightmares. I've got nightmares of cracking open. Sometimes like 30 or 40 of these a day. It's like, oh my God, that sucks, you know? That really sucks. So I've got nightmare. Every time I see a disposable film camera, I have a nightmare. But that is really great irony. Fuji's on the right track and doing a lot of the stuff right. Not doing a lot of the stuff right. They're doing, and there's no perfect company. Fuji's dropped the ball on a few things, like their support for their RAW files. I mean, they should not have a guy at Iridiant, which is just one dude, you know, making a far better RAW conversion software than Silky Pics that Fuji is offering. That should not be the case. You know, they have a herd of nerds at Fuji that could, like, thump that guy overnight, and they should. I mean, I've got nothing against the guy at all, but Fuji's the one making the camera. Fuji should thump him overnight. Not literally. They should, you know, have a herd of nerds come out with software. Either that or hire some companies. Like, pay them $2 million to develop some software, and it wouldn't take that long because it'd only have to have support for Fuji RAW files, and have them come out with some software that matches the performance of Iridiant developer, and, you know, bring it out for PC and Mac, because right now Iridiant's just out there for Mac. So that is a dropped ball from Fuji. The other dropped ball is that Fuji's been 3 months late on their speedlight, which isn't theirs. I mean, it's made for them, but it's made by Metz. I think one of the serious issues with that is that Metz owned a television company that made TVs, and that company went bankrupt. And I think Mets is like pooping their diapers. They're like, oh my god, we're not going to survive. But those are the people that are tasked with making the Fuji speedlights. I don't know if how they got the contract to make those speedlights. Maybe they're like, oh my god, we'll make them for you so cheap. I don't know how they got the contract to make the speedlight, the professional speedlight, the EFX 500 for Fuji, but they got that contract. It doesn't, bother me any one way or the other. However, until Fuji brings that speedlight out, people don't have TTL capability and they don't have high-speed sync capability, and that is a pissy bummer. So Fuji did drop the ball on that one, but maybe that's mostly Mets's fault. Also, Fuji has dropped the ball on a coiled up TTL cable. Any company that has a professional camera with TTL capability and a professional TTL speedlight, they have to have a TTL cable. It's just, that's the way it is. Nikon, Canon, gotta have a TTL cable. Can you buy an off-brand one? Yes, but that's kind of like no dice against the company image. That's not good. So Fuji's dropped the ball on a few things, but compared to Nikon, they're like, they're zipping down the racetrack. Fuji doing a great job. So I thought I'd share that irony with you, that the company that invented the disposable crappy camera, and they're all crappy because they are disposable, the company that invented the crappy disposable camera is now making the most uncrappy, most non-disposable, best made, best reliability, wonder camera. Fuji X-T1, X-T2, X100T, yada yada yada. Isn't that ironic? It's kind of neat. It's kind of like a company that introduced a disposable diaper, 30 years later comes out with cameras that are like indestructible bulldozers. It's like, we've gone from disposable diapers to indestructible bulldozers. That's ironic. And it's factual in this case. Thanks for watching. Bye.